everybody, Erin here from the design team. We've had lots of people come in asking us how to make a bow, so we are going to do a quick step-by-step video on how to make two different types of bows. The first one will be a ribbon bow, and the second one will be a sinamay bow. So the first bow we're going to do with you today is one of our festive ribbon bows. You can use this to embellish a gift. You can put it on a wreath, you can put it on a poinsettia, you can really do anything with it. We have a variety of festive patterns available, and they are on sale in our Christmas sale right now. So first you start with a length of ribbon. So for this bow, I'm just going to run through what we do. I start with this middle loop here. It's smaller, and then I'm going to go side to side with the larger loops and end with the tail. So for this bow, that size, I cut a length of 3 yards. I hold everything with my left hand and I manipulate with my right hand. Every time I bypass my fingers here, I twist. That way, when you have a bunch of material, it's smaller amount of material to hold and pinch with your fingers. So I'm going to make the first loop, which is the smaller loop that's in the middle. And now that I've bypassed my fingers again, I'm twisting. Middle loop done. So I'm going to do a side loop. I've gone larger. You can do any size you want depending on the size of bow you want, but because I've done a 3-yard length, I'm going to do about this size here, just 3 or 4 inches. So I twist now that I've bypassed my fingers again. So I'm checking the size, flattening it out. I want it to match. So again, 3 to 4 inches, twist. Now you have some creative control here, of course, through the whole process you do, but for this part I like to go a little bit shorter, but you can do all the same size. It's really up to you. Twist, loop, twist. I like to kind of place the loops where I think they're going to be as the end product, just to help me visualize what it's going to look like as I go. Afterwards we fluff them up and make them look pretty. So I'm doing 3 loops on each side. I've done 1 in the middle, 1 at the bottom, 1 at the top. These ones are a bit smaller than the first ones as well. That's just my personal preference. Twist, top loop again on the other side. Everything's symmetrical. Twist, and your final loop with your final length will be the tail. So 1 large loop with what you have left, you want to twist so that everything that I've been holding and pinching between my finger and my thumb is pinched together. This way, I know where the wire has to go to take over for my fingers. So I run the wire along my thumb to the middle. I bend down the front piece through the larger loop, which will ultimately be my tails. And I pinch as far as I can up the wires to where the ribbon is and twist, twist, twist. You want it to be as tight as possible so that it doesn't come undone on you. So at this point, I cut the tails here in the middle. There are 2 or 3 different ways that we like to finish them off. You can just cut them straight on an angle so that they come to a point. You can fold them at the bottom and cut them into triangles, whatever you want to do. And then I like to arrange the loops so that they look nice and poofy. Technical term, poofy. And there we go. That's how we make our 3-yard bow. So now I'm going to show you how we make our sinamay burlap bow. It is similar in style in the sense that it has a loop in the middle with loops coming out the sides, but it is a different technique. So what I'm using here is the 10-inch roll of burlap. It is on sale as well. When we do 10-yard roll, we get 3 of these bows out of a 10-yard roll. So with this one, we start with the tail. So we start with the tail and we work our way around and we end with the tail. So you like to do maybe just the length of, just past your elbow. The tail will curl. And you start with your loops, your large loops. So I've started the tail on one side, I want to do a loop on the other side. So we're working back and forth again. As well, I'm holding everything in the center. You can twist if you'd like. You always want the material to be working with you. There is a natural bend or bow in the material, so I've twisted so that it's working for me. You want the loops roughly the same size. It won't be as noticeable in this style. It's a bit more of a messy style, if you will, but still looks beautiful in the end. So I started with the tail over here, loop over here, now loop back to the tail side, and I'm going to twist again because I want the material bowing in my favor. This is a 5-loop bow total. Twist. Material is bowing in my favor. And just as a little side note, I recommend that you do not wear any knits when you're working with this material. It will stick to it and pull loops out. No scarves, no nice knit material. So just to recap, I've done the tail, loop to the left, loop to the right, loop to the left, loop to the right. So now I've got 4 loops, 2 on each side. I'm going to end with what I like to call the middle loop. So I'm coming off to my right, your left. I'm just going to bend the material back towards the left so that it's creating a loop sideways from the other loops here in the middle. So I'm going to do that one more time. You've got your tail and your 4 loops, 2 on each side. I'm off to this side. I want to come back to this side. And again, my hand is holding everything in the middle. So what I've done by doing that is I've made a smaller loop in the middle. It could be larger, it's really preference for you. Afterwards, once you've wired it, you can play with it and kind of fluff out the loops for yourself. But now what I've done is I've created another tail on the other side. So there's a tail on this side and a tail on that side. That's why I've done the loop this way. And I run the wire along my fingers so that the wire takes over for my hand, holding the bow together. Okay, I'm just going to give you a shot of the back here. So I've got the wire coming through over my fingers and up over my thumb. And you want it to be as tight as possible so that it doesn't come undone on you. And twist a few times. Afterwards, you just play with it until it looks the way you want, really. It's quite simple. Again, you'll get 3 beautiful bows out of a 10-yard roll. We also have our 21-inch width, which makes a larger bow, and that's what we use to make our tree topper bows. They look quite nice on top of a tree. They're nice and full on top of the tree with a 21-inch size. But this is the 10-inch size, which is great for anything from lampposts to put on your door, put on your planters. They're really quite versatile. Thank you very much.